So I filmed some Catching Fire reaction, like right after I got home from the movies last night, and the footage is really embarrassing and really bad because I am basically a mess, and it's just like feelings, emotions. And today, after I've looked back on it, I really feel like I can be more. I feel like I can make more cohesive thoughts. So, Catching Fire. The new director was amazing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and I actually just looked at the last page of the book because I just grabbed it off the shelf and was like, hey, I might show this and show points in story where they had word for word lines. And I looked at the last few pages of Catching Fire, and the lines were word for word. And what Katniss did was exactly what's in the book, and I'm so happy about that because finally there's a movie that goes by the book. So the movie is amazing, just so you know. It's absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. I need Mockingjay, and I need it now. And I need both parts, not just one, because spoilers, by the way, tons of spoilers in this review. And just spoilers, you know, like River Song. Spoilers. Okay. So if you have not read the series, which, where have you been if you haven't? Or if you have read the series but don't want to be spoiled. Or if you're not going to read the series because you're a weird person and don't like books, and you're just watching the movies and you haven't seen Catching Fire, please just go away. Yeah. Woo, magic hands. Okay. So, first off, the movie has really made me respect Gail more as the character. Because in the books, I was like, okay, you have no character development. Why should I like you? And then now I'm like, okay, I totally see where you're coming from. I understand, even though you kiss Katniss a little too much in my opinion. I mean, you're still a good person. I totally understand where he's coming from. And I feel sorry for him. And I can totally see where Katniss is coming from, even more so now. Another thing I wanted to point out was how defeated, this movie was all Katniss going, I don't want to be a rebel. I don't want to fight. Let's do this peaceably. I'm sorry. I just did it to save my own skin and Peeta's. I did not mean anything by it. I mean, I was just in love. I couldn't help. She's very defeated, and she feels like President Snow has already won. And because of that, she is very, I don't know. She just is so defeated throughout the entire movie, and she's so resigned and just, you rule over me and I have to convince you that you don't need to kill me. And she's protecting her family at all costs, and it's beautiful. And then at the very end, when we see her face and we watch her crying after Gale tells her that Katniss, there is no District 12. We see her crying, and it just stays on her face as she finishes up like her mourning, and then her face hardens, and you just see this look of, I'm fighting now. And then the screen goes to black, and then we see the Mockingjay going from kind of like the trapped, our original Mockingjay pin, and then it like evolving to the Catching Fire pin, and then it stays there for like few seconds, and then it merges into Mockingjay, where it has its wings spread out. Speaking of which, that dress was beautiful. I loved it so much. I loved all the costumes in this movie so much more. I don't know if that's the director or the costume artist, costume designers, or if that's just having a better budget. I don't know, but they were so much better. And the fire. And this movie was so much better. It wasn't just weird, cape-like, very fake CGI fire. It looked like their clothes were going to burn off of them, and they didn't. And it was beautiful, because the costumes themselves were gorgeous without the fire. And the costumes in the first movie kind of looked like weird warrior black plain outfits, really. I loved Katniss and Peeta, and just their relationship and how it evolved, and just how I cannot go acting for the camera as Katniss, and then how they they became stronger than ever. And I love that because it just shows how wonderful they are together. It's beautiful. I really loved Haymitch and Cinna. Basically, I just loved everybody except for President Snow. And I still kind of hate Plutarch, even though he's on our side. My one complaint is about Finnick. I don't really feel like the actor was the part. I feel like he wasn't as beautiful as I imagine Finnick. And not only that, but when he smiled, it kind of, it was more of a smirk than a smile. And someone else thought it was his teeth. But his smile came off more of a smirk. And he came off more like Patch from the Hush Hush series than Finnick. So, but overall, he did an amazing job. I mean, I'm not complaining about his acting, it's just his smile and his whole demeanor. And I feel like he'll be better in the next 2 movies. Okay, the arena itself is gorgeous. The fact that we could actually see the dome was beautiful. And the mutts actually genuinely scared me this time. Because in the first movie, it was just like, yeah, very big pit bulls are coming after us. I'm so scared. In this movie, we have scary, crazy, monkey-looking things that squeal and wail, and it's terrifying, quite honestly. And when they jump out at you, oh goodness, it was scary. And I jumped. And on a side note, the first trailer that came on when they dimmed the lights and the volume went up and it wasn't like the first look stuff was a Divergent trailer. And yes, I squealed because who doesn't squeal when it's a Divergent trailer? And it was 4 on the big screen in Tris. And it was beautiful and I cannot wait for March. Anyway, back to Hunger Games. I didn't imagine, like, when I was reading Catching Fire, I really didn't see the relationship that these tributes really had. In the movie, you can really see how close they were, and how because they were all victors, they all knew how bad the capital was, and they all hated the capital. And really, I loved when they were doing the interviews with Caesar, and then they all raise their arms, and they have to shut it down because they're showing rebellion. And I did not imagine the victory tour like it was. I did not imagine people being so outward and so, I don't know, I just didn't imagine it that bad. And now that I've seen it, I'm like, whoa. Because now I want to go back and read Catching Fire again and see how I feel about it and see if it impacts me more, because I'm sure it will now that I've seen it. And the scene where Katniss, her arm is splayed out because her tracker was taken out and she just shot the arrow and the dome died. And I didn't even think honestly about like the cameras going out and Snow just standing there like, what? Because if you think about it, that went off during a live viewing of everything that was going on in the Hunger Games, and like people were watching this all around the world and they saw it go blank. And just, that never occurred to me before, that whoa, that was really a huge deal, even bigger than we made it out to be. And that scene where Katniss is just lying on the ground and we see, oh, one thing, I loved where we saw the hovercrafts actually coming down and grabbing the dead tributes' bodies. I mean, I'm pretty sure they just showed that so they could lead up to when Katniss is picked up, but it was still nice to see, like, oh, the bodies don't just magically disappear. You know, Rude's body did not stay there covered in flowers. And that was never explained, that the flowers were just a little sign of rebellion, and that's why 11 went off. That was never explained, but it was in this movie, and I was very happy about that. And this movie was so by the book. I mean, everything was by the book, and as I said, there are sections, well, most sections in the movie are word for word from the book. It's like they took the book, took out all the descriptions, used that, they basically just reworded the book into a script, and it's beautiful. And there's really not anything negative I can say about it, other than that I wish it was longer, even though they told the entire story. I just wish it was longer so we saw more. So I will be going to see The Day of the Doctor on Monday night in 3D. I'm not going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to wait until Monday so I'm not spoiled. And I'm going to try and post, and again, try and post and film a reaction of that, because I'm sure, just like this, it will be amazing. And happy 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, even though that's tomorrow. I probably won't upload this until tomorrow, so happy 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. I've only been watching it since about June of this year, but it's amazing, and the show's gone on for so many years, and I love it, and I hope we get at least 50 years more. So, happy 50th anniversary, Doctor Who. And other than that, I'm currently have like a cold / sinuses, and I was going to post the Safe and Sound cover, and I still plan on doing that. I just not tonight, and probably not this weekend unless I somehow miraculously get like 100% again, because I want it to sound good. So I should have a new video up soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.